All right, so this was a build around submission for Viktor plus Hermedinger here. The core of this deck is very similar to the Heimer Vilus that were going around last season. So we've got that Targon Splash as the second region in our base PNZ deck. One thing that I think this build gets to do a little bit better this season. We saw some Give It All included with these two champions in previous seasons to raise all your allies' power and health to the highest, then grant all keywords across everything. And I think that this card gets better with Viktor and the augment cards in general, because these augment cards tend to have very high points of attack. And then we've got things like Nyandroid to help give us elusive across the board, or copy Viktor's Hexacore, upgrade keywords to everything in play. I think Give It All specifically is a lot more powerful in this archetype than it was in previous seasons. We've also got that kind of ballistic bot card draw engine where this creates ignitions for us. And then we've got things like Sump Dredger and Rummage to filter through things. And then we've got things like Beams and Mystic Shot for a little bit of interaction. Let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see how it goes. Go play with that club. There is a child. It's funny, they're currently on winter break, which under normal circumstances, having kids home from winter break would be more effort on the parents. But during the plague time, since they're remote learning, winter break actually is kind of a break for me as well, because I don't have to worry about them getting to their Google Meet calls to be learning on top of everything else. Twisted Fate, Elise, Gangplank. Thermal Beam might be reasonable to keep here. Preventing them from chip-shotting us too much early seems fine. I'm gonna keep the Beam in the Android. A little clunky here. Hopefully they play Elise on too and we get to beam her.
Didn't know the box had said for you.
Don't know much, do ya?
I think I'm just spending 3 to kill a 2-drop here. It feels bad, but now I just don't want to like not be using my resources.
Let's get to it.
Flee with 2 E's.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. Did a patch change that? Because the champion order, maybe it doesn't, it's different on our deck. I thought the order here dictates how many you see on all of them, but this being in this order makes me double guess that. I believe this means 2 Elise, 1 Gangplank, with Elise coming before Gangplank. But my deck, maybe my deck order is different? Think we get Viktor down to start generating hex cores ASAP?
What do you know of shedding?
Yeah, I mean, it's super easy to test. Someone load up a deck with 3 Twisted Fate, 1 Elise, 2 Gangplank, and see if it's still in this order. Huh, with that draw, I think we actually go Nyandroid into Hexcore here.
Hairless apes.
All evolution will converge to machines.
Nah, I don't enjoy playing Singleton, so I'm not attempting to get a Prime Glory this week.
Their treat will be doomed.
New materials, new improvements.
Do I want to attack Viktor into their 2-2?
Neither the flames nor the
Well, I definitely don't want to attack Viktor into their 5-5.
Strike now.
But you need to get out of here. Thank you. You need to put clothes on if you want to come in here. Close the door. Declan's been on a he doesn't want to wear anything other than underwear kick, and he thinks he can be cute and come in here with a blanket, but I'm not getting my Twitch channel banned because he trips and falls. So, nothing was shown there when he walked in. He was wearing a blanket, but he's also 5 and can easily trip over his own feet, so...
Clumsy design.
You looking for Minecraft, buddy? There's the Minecraft cartridge in this Switch. Yep, there you go. Have fun. So if we Heimer here, and then we Hexacore, we get to play the bot as well and get double augments on these? Hey, Pickleball Oz, thank you for the 20 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. With this next turn too, we might be pretty close to lethal with elusives. Box, that's weird.
Electroplating completed.
So much for that plan.
Genius in action.
Okay, so this is 1, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3. So I could do 12 with these. Probably not good enough. I suppose if this rolls elusive, we could kill them. They also have Vengeance mana available as something to think about. Huh? I kind of think I want to trade for Gangplank. I think I want to trade for Gangplank and just be a little bit defensive here. Hey, Justiper, thank you for the very generous tier 2 and for the 15 months at that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. And then I think we go Chump into Sump here. Why not Scout Attack here to have a bigger attack the next turn? What, the Scout Attack didn't do anything.
Keep up, keep up.
What does Scout Attack do? Can you explain? It doesn't look like it does anything to me. What am I missing? Please explain.
Flesh was weak, but look at me now.
Yeah, Victor dies regardless of what he attacks with there. There's no point in attacking with. I mean, I technically get a second priority pass, but that doesn't really accomplish anything.
Come close.
If Victor wasn't trading in combat, that could be a meaningful decision, but he was trading in combat regardless.
Through the coral. Skitter out from the darkness.
First game, Guard Gray. Okay. Maybe I should have traded here. We're pretty low at this point. There's upside to holding this in case we draw Give It All. How do we feel about trying to high roll Give It All here?
Too many ideas, not enough hands.
Sometimes your 2-of's not in the top half of your deck. Might be wrong to attack these into here since this is fearsome.
We live here.
My life is lost, but not my purpose.
I'm gonna go ahead and save this one, I think.
When I needed assistance. Why, just 1.21 gigahertz.
1.21 gigahexes.
Disengage.
Yeah, but that's not what you said, Wargs. You said earlier, why not just scout attack? So like now you've moved the goalpost when I asked you to validate why your line was what it was. I think we just go wide here, right?
Be nothing left when I'm done.
Because if you choose a scout attack, you develop first. The Viktor still dies, Wargs. What's up, bud? I have a what? The Pro controller? The gold controller? No, you guys probably lost it. Turn the lights on and dig through all the couch cushions and blankets. That's why you need to put them back. Okay.
Behold me now, hairless apes.
All evolution will converge to machines.
Pretty sure we just do that, right? And get a bunch of elusives here. Oh, I was like, why are they doing that? Oh, fuck, I hit a... I was reading chat. I was like, why are they wailing? They had a barrel. I could have shot the barrel and then been fine there. That was, yeah, that was the shape concede. The good old fashioned shape concede. Gonna mulligan all of these not threat cards here in the control matchup and find a bunch of not threat cards. Yikes.
I am superior life form. Safety.
That was exactly my line of thought. I was like, I don't really care if you just have three life instead of 4. What does that matter?
You can see the Demastian border from here.
This card's so good.
Evolve or die.
Maybe I'm supposed to do this pre-combat and get in the extra point that way. The Sparkle Fly Pet's my favorite.
System upgrade. is perfection, meatbags?
Meat bags.
Can you improve perfection? Fire till nothing moves. System upgrade.
I think we're just supposed to gem and attack here to start.
Improve perfection. Witness me.
Playing these out is just like asking to get blocked. I also drew this for the turn, so I could go ahead and play this and ditch one of these.
System upgrade. A ticket to the gun show. Can you improve perfection?
This is a matchup where Give It All is not particularly great. I think I just take the hit, right? Yes, I can trade. This is probably a Ruination turn, right? And if I block and they Troll Chant, I know they're not ruinating me. What if I Hush into Pale Cascade here? Perfect. Yeah, deal. Resolves. Huh. So, I think I'd actually rather ditch Give It All and play 2 Ignitions here. I think we, like, crack them down to 9, and then we get to open attacks next turn. Like, with Aftershock in hand and getting another Ignition, we're in a pretty okay spot. Hopefully this finds us an elusive threat with Spell Shield.
Can you improve perfection? I am the future. You got a problem?
You got a problem? Can Teemo be competitive? Yeah, I think so. Teemo Sajani is a deck that I had a highlight of on my YouTube highlights channel very recently. I think that deck's very reasonable. I'm definitely trying for lethal this turn. We're gonna go this into this. Alright, so I think we just play Viktor now.
Flesh is a weakness we must shed.
The Viktor after my Ignition kind of says that I have Reach that I didn't play. That's fine.
Yes, of course.
What seems to be the problem?
This could be the Ice Pillar could be Ruination bait here. Oh, just Ledros? Sure. So, Hex Core here. This bot will level Viktor. Finesse, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. So,
Oh dear.
Clumsy design.
I think I just go to 5 here, right? I don't want either of these to die to Vile Feast. And then I can Hush plus Thermo Beam to kill this and make sure it doesn't come back.
Divert our power to main laser! A sturdy construction.
Look at our builders working together, chat.
It's smaller than a diagram.
They're so happy together. I think I open on this, because if they ruinate, I get to go Chump Wump and Nyandroid still. This was a build around submission rune. The cost reduction does get a smaller Heimer turret, but that's fine. The 1-mana Heimer turrets aren't very good anyways. And these have... I think the 0 cost ones with Challenger are actually arguably better than the 1 ones. Alright, well now they can't Ruination, right? So I think we Chump Wump.
I got ways to find me mushrooms.
You can see the Demacian border from here.
And now they can't Vengeance.
Behold me!
Meow.
All evolution will converge to machine.
They could have Grasp.
Genius in
Oh, that's a harvest right there.
ingenious. Another brilliant design.
Innovation must begin somewhere.
My shrooms are 0 mana because leveled Viktor makes created cards cost 1 less.
This human mind takes time. Look out for reefs. I've carved meat bigger than you.
Alright, do you have a Grasp? Oh, they have Whale. If I had played these out, would they have died? Not quite. Alright, they would have died because of the mushroom?
Alert the village.
Oh, those were free. I'm done. I was thinking I could play those later. It's fine. It's gonna be fine. It's okay, chat. It's okay. Nobody panic!
One troll to rule them all.
Yeah, this does mean we beat Atrocity, which is nice.
Another brilliant design.
I'm not panicking. Who's panicking? Alright, so we tried really hard to lose that game, but our deck was great and didn't let us. Got it. Heimer plus Viktor together is really gasoline. It powers up the augments really quickly.
Progress brought to life.
Shonop, thanks for the follow. Welcome. That tech seems sweet. Ether, good morning and welcome. Speaking of Teemo and frozen mushrooms, the mulligan. I think I'm supposed to mulligan this. It's like good against exactly Teemo, and their deck frequently plays Troll Chant and Elixir, so even if they have exactly Teemo, this isn't guaranteed to be good. I think I'd rather mulligan these looking for a bot to pair with some treasure. Man, those are bad hits.
Another day in the field. They'll never know what hit them. You know this?
But look at me now.
Think I'm ditching Aftershock. Go either way on that. Definitely want to get the blocker down here so we can tell Timo to shut the hell up. Be very quiet. I'm hunting Timos.
Vandal Scout never.
Safety disengaged. Fire till nothing moves. Primed and ready. Pitiful.
I think I just let that happen.
Safety disengaged. Join the glorious evolution. System upgrade.
If they open attacks next turn, I probably rummage into Pale Cascade
Disengaged.
and eat one of these.
I am the future.
I think it's Heimer.
Publish or perish. Primed and ready. Take the gift to the gun show.
Okay.
Metal is perfection.
Okay. So drawing Give It All kind of changes the texture of how I want my hand to play out here. I think I want to prioritize getting Niandroid going now.
Greatest mind likes pets.
Wandering Guard, thanks for the follow.
Genius. Electroplating completed. Safety disengaged.
I think I'm gonna Mach 1 this. This puts a Mach 2 into the top 3 cards of my deck, with Hexport Foundry, we're pretty likely to redraw and be able to kill this next turn. Hey, thank you for the 29 months of Prime 3. I hope your holidays are going well too. Good morning, Crazy Killer. Welcome to the channel. There's no reason not to attack with this, right? That's true. With Rummage, we're guaranteed to get to it.
Can you improve perfection?
Oh, that's a harvest.
Dad, I think chat wants to see how cute baby girl is when she wears llamas.
You got llamas, baby girl. Who's a cutie?
Another brilliant
Are
design.
you adorable? Who's got llamas? You say hi to chat?
You should stick your tongue out at them.
Who's precious? You're precious. Oh, leveled Sajani's a tough one to crack.
You own what you take.
Huh? You think your daddy is lost? You want my keyboard? The keyboard's exciting.
Dad, just let me touch stuff. Dad, I want to touch everything.
So the problem here is if they if they put this first and they kill this with Overwhelm, Sajani's gonna trigger and make everything else smaller. Yeah, the opponent's archetype is very good. I think we're good here. There's a lot we could do in that one. That's the first game we lost. That there wasn't really anything we could do. Other ones we've lost so far, we've had better play that would have gotten us to better spots. That didn't feel particularly competitive. Yeah, ballistic bot. Like, I'm actually not even sure if Hex Core Foundry is good in the opponent's archetype. I'm confident ballistic bot is nuts though. We've got 3 Hushes versus the all-in Fiora deck, baby girl. That's really good. Alright, speaking of, we probably want to mulligan aggressively for said Hushes. I'm going to keep Goat in my hand here, because Goat has 3 power, so if we find a Hush to pair with this, this gets to kill Fiora. Hey, morning, Philly. Yeah, you smiling? Yeah, I agree with that, AB. I'm just not sure if you need that extra tool against the slower control decks. It's a good draw. So I get to go ahead and drop Goat here, and then we have a deal 1 to deal with Zoe.
Dad, just let me touch stuff.
You wanna grab the keyboard and the mouse? And the mat? You wanna explore? Gotta go. I think we do this. They could have like Pale Cascade or Sharp Sight or Chain Vest, but trading 1 mana for any of those cards is about as efficient as we're going to get, so I'm not really expecting this to work, but I'm happy to get a resource out of their hand at this point. This is probably the worst case for us because it trades even on mana and leaves a bonus on this long term. I don't name my children after things from games. I think we just let this hit happen. It's not drawing them another card, it's just making this one cheaper. I think we're gonna go ahead and drop the Sump to try and find that Hush here again.
Dad, I just want to help you. Dad, let me help.
You wanna help?
Dad, let me help.
You're being very good this morning. Were you good for your mother while you were upstairs? That's not terrible. It means we can try and fire off... We can try and fire off a cheap beam here again. Maybe we open on... Do I want to offer these trades here? Might be fine. It could be right to like try and shoot through their units here as well this turn though. Let's open on Mystic Shot on the 4-1 and see what they do. You only invoke Celestials? Yes, there is a very specific pool of cards that you invoke from, and many of the cards that invoke, like Super Cool Star Chart, invoke from a specific range of costs from that pool. Love you, baby girl. Thank you for coming to visit. Okay, well, I think we just take this attack then. Hey, physicist, thanks for the half year. I really appreciate the prime. Welcome back. Good morning. This game better than Magic? Yes. In basically every way imaginable, Runeterra is better than Magic. The core gameplay is better. The way Riot manages the balance of the game is better. The way Riot monetizes their game is better. Zoe come with tough. She does not. You can see she's been granted tough from Chain Vest here. I think we attempt to murder the Zoe here. The graphics and voice lines are more elegant. Agree with that as well. I just want to add more pressure to the board here. It seems like it has a high learning curve. Runeterra probably lets players who are good win more often than most other card games. So while you are learning Runeterra, you will probably win a bit less often than you would in other games. I also think Runeterra has the best tutorial set of any card game I've ever played, though, as well. If you're interested in my recommendations for how to best learn Runeterra and advance your collection, I've got a short 10-minute video here on my highlights channel talking about the best way to get into the game. That's true. If you are looking for a boomer card game to play in person with other human beings, Runeterra falls short in that area. Personally, when I play in-person games, I'd much rather play board games personally, so that's not really a selling point for me. Audit, thanks for the quarter of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I miss board games too, Philly. True, you can direct challenge each other. In fact, when my buddy Matt and I were traveling a bunch to play Paper Magic, we did most of our testing just like sitting on laptops next to each other because it was more convenient than playing with paper cards. Aggro, mid-ranger, control, what's the best in Runeterra? Runeterra is a well-designed, balanced game that supports all of those archetypes meaningfully. Thelgren, thanks for the follow. With two E's. For people that are new to the channel, you can kind of see it when my webcam is large, but the entire shelf behind me is board games. So if I do this, it pops the spell shield, right? It does. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. So I can have Hush available. Do we gem the cat so it can block Zoe profitably? Nah, I'm probably gonna have to Hush it anyways. No, the spell shield would negate a silence, so like they proactively Bastion to play around a Hush. Hush, little Zoe, don't say a word. Goat's gonna eat you right now. Be very quiet. We're hunting Zoes. So they should be pretty dead next turn. We get to gem things up, which makes this bigger as well. The raid boss has been defeated. Yep.
Their treat will be doom.
Doom. Doom. Yeah, our deck is relatively proactive at its core. Vlad Braum. I think I'm keeping the rummage with the bot here. I finished all the region reward tracks. I had them all finished previously before the patch added more to them. I'm not sure if I finished them all again yet with the new additions. I have to check. I don't really pay attention.
Once I stamp papers, now faces.
No faces.
Awaits.
Fight or die.
Prime and ready.
The Winter's Claw.
So I think we wait on a turn to do this, because we'll play Viktor next turn, and then Ignition to trigger Augment on all of them.
Flesh is a weakness we must shed.
What do you know of shedding?
Rafa, thanks for the follow. Welcome and good morning.
Perfection. Join me if you want to live.
If you want to live. I think I just take this pass, burn a couple of mana from them. Thoughts of the prismatic card styles? They're fine.
Leave nothing standing.
How do we feel about charging up and then trying to kill them with Give It All next turn? I think I like it.
Improve perfection. Electroplating completed.
That's nice. That's nice. This could honestly be a 3 Give It All deck. They don't usually run a lot of interaction. Sometimes Scorched Earth or Culling Strike, but this gets us out of Culling Strike range if that's what they're playing.
Safety disengaged.
This is exactly lethal, right?
System upgrade.
With this, if this happens, this is 16. Oh no, I have 18 actually. Right, because this is gonna copy its power over.
Ingenious.
So now if I have if I do this and they have a Scorched Earth in response, I no longer win. So I think I'm supposed to now Heimer.
What seems to be the problem?
I'm ready. Analyzing a problem.
But I need assistance.
Do they have another Avalanche is the question.
Come on in.
Yeah, Death Lotus is definitely in the range of cards their archetype could be playing.
Without pause.
Analyzing approach.
I think I try and kill this.
Who's gonna close that?
That could be wrong because of the potential for a second Avalanche. Might be right to just pass there.
The winter's claw strikes.
Okay, I think I give it all now, right? It gives me a turret, and it plays around Avalanche. Morning, see there.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, but there's just like not really any downside to making that play either, right? I haven't had a problem with my hand being too full, Bill, and the stat line on some treasure is super relevant a lot of the time. Some being a 4/3 is really important. I actually think your argument that Urchin gives you more defense against aggro actually isn't entirely true. While you're right, it's lower curve. The fact that some treasure can block fearsomes and can trade twice in combat is often super relevant in the aggressive matchups. So I don't think it's like strictly correct that like that card that Urchin is just better against aggro. I think it's just kind of different. That's a good draw.
I am superior life form. Flesh was weak, but look at me now. System upgrade. I have the best job.
We just murder this before it can start hurting us.
You suck.
Bye, Draven.
Prime and ready. Rise, metal brethren.
Attack's interesting.
Disengage.
Exalt me like the god I am! Meow!
Meow. Yeah, that's true, little devil. If you hadn't avalanched the turn you avalanched, I would have killed you with Give It All.
System upgrade. Join me if you want to live.
I've not played that game, but I've heard good things about it, Nemesis. That being said, the games I plan to play on stream are pretty filled out for the next couple of months. I've got a good lineup of things I want to get through at this point.
Safety disengage.
I'm also going to be doing a bit less random variety stuff and a bit more Runeterra moving forward, so... Huh? Can I race them here? I think I can.
With 2 E's!
God access needs Viktor.
This might be wrong. I'm hoping that the star shaping and the aftershock mean we can win this race. So like I get to do this, and then if this lives through the turn, I get to play this, play an ignition next turn, and hit them for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and put them to 6. And then we're hoping to kill them on 8, is the plan here.
Exalt me like the god I am! Meow!
Meow. Pretty big blowout. And that's the risk of trying to linear our opponent's archetype, is that like their deck has a lot of interaction in it. So like just hoping they ignore us and we win the onboard race is pretty ambitious. Probably doesn't work out for us favorably a lot of the time. Maybe I should have been aftershocking and trading in more rather than trying to get the cats going. Honestly, because of how much interaction the opponent has, it could have been right to just mulligan the Niandroids from the start instead of keeping the 2 that I did. I think that, if I wasn't going to be going in on this Niandroid plan, I probably shouldn't have kept the 2 that I kept in my opener. Should have mulliganed for more interaction.
Out!
Can you improve perfection?
Let's see if they're opening on attacks here.
Pitiful.
Your history!
I mean... There's a good chance these die here. Their deck plays a ton of interaction. The off chance they don't, we've got a kill on 8 lined up here. But again, would be surprised if that comes through. And they killed the, I guess that was the lower, they killed the lower power one first, so I assume this one is also dying then. Yeah, the tempo my opponent generated with Tri-Beam this game was huge. They killed one of my threats and developed their own at the same time. It's a big swing.
Rise, metal brethren.
I thought you'd never ask.
Safety disengage.
Unleash new potential.
Well, I mean, they're dead to this Hush currently. Infinite cards that beat us, but...
You know, I'll end this.
Oh, that means they're not dead, right? This one is not elusive, it's just overwhelm. I think that does it. We're very, very close here. Yeah, I think I misassessed my role in that matchup, and I should have mulliganed the cats to start and been more interactive / controlling. I didn't have enough mana to play the elusive option from the Star Shaping Ruin. It was a 9 cost. So if we had mana to play it, I would have taken the elusive, but we did not. Hey, Sagon, thanks for the follow. I think I full mulligan looking for Aftershock here against their Plaza deck. We get to bank spell mana on 1, play Goat on 2, play Aftershock their Plaza on 3. Bah. And if they don't play Plaza on 3, we can sub Dredger the Gem, but pretty likely they play Plaza on 3 with no plays on 1 or 2. Hey, Jacob.
I beat a Wibble. Yeah, Tetra Pack. He brought another dog. Another dog.
Yeah, the texture packs make it look different. It's pretty cool, huh? Oh. Don't be too scared. Oh, Jake. Jake's definitely adorable. Am I playing Viktor to try and block this? I don't feel like I can just take a 6-ball to the face here. I guess I could just trade with the Goat too. Trading with the Goat has some appeal because it generates me another gem. And then I have a bunch of augment cards.
The future is steel and
Jacob,
silence.
you need to take your tube and go back out. Here's the other switch. If you want to play with Declan, ask mommy to help you get set up. Put the tubes down if you're going to carry the switch. 2 hands on the switch.
Here we go.
Thank you. We think we got a block here, especially with the 4th regenerated. It could have also been right to, it could have also been right to bank some spell mana this turn and play Heimerdinger with some bots next turn. Like, maybe it was right to, like, play Ballistic bot out, so that way I could go wide blocking a little bit. That's definitely a possibility. That might be the play this turn, actually. Like, play bot and then pass with 3 spell mana up. Well, no, the 4/3 ephemeral is going away anyways, Cody. So I want to kill their things. Like, saving 1 more point of life and leaving their scout unit in play seems like a really bad exchange for me.
Yes, of course. Once I stamp papers, now faces. Our goals are greater than petty violence.
It could be better to some treasure here too. It depends on, we'll see how they develop is going to dictate what we do here for sure. If they like pass, we're definitely going to end the turn. If they develop something meaningful, I'm probably going to play the some treasure. The fact that they have the attack token next turn encourages me to develop so I don't get run down. We've got Heimer and Viktor here, so like as this game goes along, I think we're more likely to win than they are, especially since they don't have Plaza. It could have been right to gem this to play around single combat. This feels like this could be a single combat they're thinking of. Okay, yeah, I think with that development, I'm gonna go ahead and sump treasure here. So I have decent blockers to start next turn.
Metal is perfection.
Hand size is going to be a concern as we go into the next turn.
Slow down, will you?
I think I just want to develop my board wider here. Could be right to gem this here too, just so I can block this scout.
Behold me!
We'll do that into Nyandroid, and then we can have Pale Cascade up here still, or we could play these post-combat or bank spell mana. It might be right to bank spell mana going into the Heimerdinger turn. If they attack with all their scouts, we'll go block, 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 I think, and just eat all of them. Because they could have, like, a Sharp Sight, but Sharp Sight doesn't blow out all of those combats. Just one of the 3 blocks. Feel like the opponent doesn't have great attacks here. That changes the dynamic a little bit. I think with that barrier, I'm just taking that hit. How do you feel about beaming this to preserve our life total? I think I like it. We're going to be taking 6 here. You can probably block most everything else, though, at this point, right?
Here we go.
Their archetype doesn't have a lot of traditional reach in it. So I don't need to worry a whole ton about my life total getting too low. Like, Rally is their way to push extra damage as we move into the late game. Not too worried about that.
Their ideas stagnate.
Pesky Spectre came from Warden's Prey, and Warden's Prey came from Double Trouble.
The sweet smell of science.
Okay, we've survived to get to the Heimer chains with Viktor here. So we're gonna get to augment the fam here. Honestly, they just passed. I wonder if it's right to take the pass there. Probably not. I like this board music. It's real good.
Progress waits for no one.
I've got so many burst and fast speed things in my hand. I think if they pass, I'm gonna take it.
Soldiers, to me!
They did not pass.
Why just 1.21 gigahexes?
1.21 gigahexes.
Rise, metal brethren.
Without pause.
And this is free to overwrite here because it's fleeting. I'm gonna lose it anyways. Might as well get my augment trigger.
Yes, of course.
This gives a bunch of things fearsome, but most of my board is fearsome blockers, and I've got a lot of value left over in the tank. So if we trade off here, that's not a big deal. This might be a rummage through these things turn. Single combat me, daddy. Loot these and see where we end up at.
The answer is here, somewhere.
might be wrong. It's kind of sad. I'm kind of sad if they, what's it called? If they have Sharp Sight here. Single combat's also not stellar. Yeah, this is a Pesky that was put into our deck by their Pesky Spectre. I have a free bot blocker to play out here in Pesky as well. Swing. Oh, ha! This helps us level Viktor. That's funny. Overriding does not trigger Last Breath, though. This having Burial would be pretty sweet next turn. Or this turn on their second attack.
Their ideas stagnate.
They're debating on if they want to attack with this right away or if they want to get their scout attack in. They know I have this.
Interesting solution.
Inferior design.
Feel like this worked out okay for us.
Crystal structures of unparalleled rigidity.
Unparalleled rigidity. So we go this into this. It levels Viktor.
Every wave is a path.
Genius in action.
Genius in action. And give it all is potentially lethal next turn. It's a pretty good follow-up here after we shrunk their board a little bit, but we still have pretty good blocks here, right? Like I get to throw this in front of here, but then even though these are fearsome, I've got this, this, and this as blockers. Yes, the round has ended.
Genius in action. Energy core upgrade. Another brilliant design.
Didn't even need to give it all. We could kill a lot of Nexuses with this board. You're not wrong. Viktor with Heimer together is really sweet. Really gets going. Feels powerful. What do you think of Quinn? She feels underwhelming to me. I mean, Quinn has been commonly played in decks that were objectively tier 1. Quinn's a finesse card. It's not a blunt instrument like something like Garen or Darius. She provides utility as opposed to just a bludgeoning tool. I think I'm full mulliganing here, looking for thermo beams, aftershocks to kill Kalistas, Hush for they who endure ballistic bot on 2. Yeah, our density of must-answer cards in this deck is really high, which is nice.
That's an egg.
Garen and Darius both use slashing weapons, not blunt ones. Fair. That's just technically correct right there.
I must get out of here.
If you're new to the channel and you think this deck is sweet, you're right, it is. This is one of the many viewer ideas that we play out on stream. I take submissions for specific viewer deck lists, as well as what I call build-around submissions. This was the latter. Someone said, hey, Jeff, can you try and build a deck with Viktor and Heimer in it? And then I figure out all the rest of the details. So if there's a sweet Runeterra card that you're not quite sure how to build, but you'd like to see someone try and make it competitive, I offer that too for my submission process. They always try and play a big range of things on this stream. A lot of our content is viewer powered. I think I want to play Chump Wump here. Am I blocking with Viktor is the question. I feel like the answer is no. I'm gonna Chump Wump. I want to keep my life total high here.
Everyone's a garden.
It's a little unfortunate. I think we take the opportunity to beam this, but we're going to lose the goat here now. We'll take 6 on this attack, down to 11. Okay, that's potentially very good. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 10 cards in hand right now, which actually means if I play Viktor and bank a spell mana, I will burn the card I'm drawing next turn, which doesn't sound great.
Eminently logical.
So I think I'm just going to do this and start playing some chump blockers out. We really need to draw a Hush in the next couple of draws. Unspeakable Horrors is a card I need to remember to play around more out of this deck. We talked about this earlier. That's a staple card they play now. And it's definitely one that keeps slipping my mind. It would have given merit to maybe gemming that this turn, so I had the extra blocker. It's a card that was recently added this archetype as the format's changed around a little bit. It's definitely not one that I've been playing around. They don't usually play pub spells in this deck, so I think I'm just going to Aftershock here. Yeah, Spawn, we've been a primarily Runeterra stream for the better part of almost 3 months now. Yikes. And then I take 9, 10. I guess I'm playing this out as a game 2. I don't think Flash of Brilliance solves really any problems that my deck has. I think I'm gonna Pale Cascade this, and then we'll play the bot out. Oh, that's wrong. This is still gonna die to the Challenger.
It's smaller than the diagram.
Grow up so fast.
Yeah, if I would have Pale Cascaded this, I could have blocked Doom Beast, so that I wouldn't be dead to second Doom Beast here. Star Shaping is probably the best draw in our deck.
I rise anew.
Meow.
You'll find you a formidable foe. Their treat will be doomed.
Oh, you know what? That was a mistake. I should have banked a spell mana here, because if I bank the spell mana, I could draw Hush off of Progress Day next turn. All right, didn't matter.
A fine spectrum of pyrotechnics.
Really didn't matter.
Calculated.
I hope the person that was here earlier that said endure is unplayable because of Hush is still here and watched that game. Yeah, Punish Draw is very strong. Double 10-10. The double Blighted Caretaker early on was strong into the double what's it called? And honestly, like, even the Riven Swain. It's not awkward though. Like, Stalking Shadows is a really good example of a card that lets you play through Hush as well. It would have been right to keep Chump Wump because of things like Rummage.
These hands need to end magic. Approach, sir.
Trade 2 drops. They get a Reforge, I get a gem. You're spare.
Once I stamp papers, now faces.
Yeah, it's definitely a feels that Endure is unplayable because of Hush is definitely a feels before reals type situation. Where it happens and you feel bad about it, so you ignore what reality is. I'm gonna do this and dig for a Pale Cascade here, I think. That's unfortunate.
With utmost efficiency.
Yeah, a couple of times, Mad Wheels. Usually it happens with both players deck out at the same time. It's the most common occurrence of ties in Runeterra.
Safety disengaged.
Do you have a Swain?
Vision to see what others cannot.
You do. You have to just beam this, unfortunately. I fear playing my Teemo versus everything. Big mood.
My legacy.
If both players draw from empty decks at the same time, the game is a draw.
Fire till nothing moves.
They are Witness.
Destiny
Doing build around submissions for Runeterra is a lot easier because I don't have to sit there and build mana bases. Building mana bases in Magic that are good, that are proper, is incredibly time consuming and tedious.
into flesh and fur.
Even the greatest mind likes pets.
Likes beds.
Break the ties that bind.
Metal is perfection. Energy core upgrade.
Ooh, that's kind of nice. I get to murder this.
Safety disengaged.
Strike now.
This does mean they can kill this with the burn spell, but I think trading this for a bot plus a burn spell is a good exchange for me. They're a Swain deck, so like, they obviously are playing Flock as well.
The color is off.
Please block this so I can counter it with Hush. Really? Okay, deal. Just gonna go ahead and heal this, I think. Huh. You know, my hand's gonna be so full on average in this deck. I think I'd rather just have the Destroyer here. Praise be to RNGesus! RNGesus, take the wheel! That's the good stuff right there, Chad. That's delicious. There's Diana. Diana's a very reasonable champ. There's Diana Zoe. There's a couple of different Diana Zoe decks that are very reasonable and competitive. There's also, yeah, Nightfall mid-range aggressive decks that are fine.
The cost of war.
Yeah, Diana is like a premier mid-range aggro card. Just like everything an aggro mid-range deck wants to be doing. Like, lets you control the board and apply pressure. Yeah, Pale Cascade's also like one of the best combat tricks in the game, so like her champion spell is second to none. Alright, we have Beam to kill Swain at least. Screaming Worm and Crimson, thanks for the follows. Welcome to the channel. Good morning. Almost afternoon here in the cornfields. Hey, not a problem at all, Soul. I wouldn't be here streaming if I didn't want to take questions. Never feel bad about asking questions in chat. Huh. So, I kind of want to kill this with this and then hold up Beam to be able to kill Swain. But it feels like they're setting up to, Ravenous Flock this, and I'd like to be able to hush this, if that's the case. So I think I just say okay.
Will be doom.
Perfect. Hush, little kitty, don't say a word. You're no longer stunned. I always feel like a wizard when plays like that work out. Okay, so 2 Mushroom Clouds, Pale Cascade, Mystic Shot, Cat is lethal, right?
I got ways to find me mushrooms.
I don't even need the Mystic Shot. This is 3, I didn't want to kill this with the beam because I wanted to kill Swain. Oh wait, the Pale Cascade's not created. I'm dumb. And their archetype, their regions can't gain life, so if they take this hit, they'll be dead to the Mystic Shot. How expensive this game to put a deck together? You can build any tier 1 deck in the game, any deck on the thing for like less than 30 bucks. If you're interested in getting into Runeterra, I have a how-to LOR video here. It's about 10 minutes. It explains the best way to learn all of the game mechanics, as well as how to find top decks and how to build them. Are they gonna burn us out in response? Holy crap. Wow! Wow, that's brutal. Huh. Super close. Rough beat. That explains why the opponent was so it's worth talking about the previous turn. So the beam is slow, I can't beam Swain in response there. That explains why the opponent was so excited to take the pass the previous turn. So I was holding a thermo beam to kill their Swain, expecting them to play their Swain, but they took the pass to get the Leviathan trigger because they were they had 8 points of burn rolled up. So their Leviathan trigger plus their 8 points in hand was enough to kill us. And believe it or not, I wasn't playing around just 8 points of burn. Okay, Watt, thanks for the follow. Good morning. Do I like this or Magic more? The best way I can describe how much more I like Runeterra than Magic the Gathering is I've opted to reduce my income by several $1,000s per month to give up playing Magic to play this better game. That's the strongest sales pitch I can give. I think this is almost assuredly a Plaza deck, right? So I think I want to mulligan most of my stuff here, looking for an Aftershock. Honestly, it might just be all of it. We're attacking on odds, which makes Goat, I guess Goat's probably worth keeping. I'm mulligan the rest looking for Aftershock. Perfect. I'm gonna be honest, Lore Karma, I don't miss trash-talking Wizards of the Coast. I didn't fully realize how much being upset with the company that makes the thing I'm supposed to enjoy, like, seeped into the rest of my life and made me unhappy. Like, it's very easy, I think, to say, oh, that just doesn't impact me and it's not a big deal. But, like, having that amount of toxicity and negativity does wear on you and have an impact. Amadir, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Alright, so we'll play Ballistic Bot now, and then we can hush this so they don't get a Badger Bear. My feeling burned out after that last game. Damn it, Red. Alright, so now I have to decide what my role is going to be in this game. So am I playing Niandroid and trying to get aggressive here? This is their Garen turn, so like if I play a Sump Dredger, there's a good chance I can't attack in. I think I want to just start shifting through cards in my deck, though. I don't know. It could be, like, it's tough to go long against Aurelion Soul. So, like, it could be right to just stick this. I guess I could gem here and ship in. Yeah, I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to gem an attack. I think that's fine.
What is this?
Our opponent has not played a Sharp Sight yet. It's hard to know exactly what combat tricks this archetype plays. Like, sometimes they play Sharp Sight, sometimes they play Pale Cascade, sometimes they play both.
Unyielding light.
Yeah, so Riot's balance team is one of the best, most proactive balance teams in any game I've ever played, and they do a pretty good job of trying to ensure most champions and cards are playable. Because Runeterra isn't trying to fleece their customers with randomly generated booster packs, they can, generally speaking, make sure most things are playable. They don't have to print a bunch of bad cards to fleece you with booster packs. I think I block here because we can Thermo Beam to finish this if they have a combat trick. Hidden backpack, thanks for the follow. Alright, so now the question is, do I play around Sharp Sight or a second Pale Cascade here on this beam? I think the answer is yes. So I could cat into beam for 1 and then get blown out, but I think I'd rather ignition into beam for 3, so that way I beat their extra combat tricks. Your dollary dues will instead, if you enjoy the game, be spent on buying beautiful game boards and fun pets and sleeves and card backs. It's really great. It's really wonderful. Alright, so kitty cat into ignition here.
Careless apes.
We could see Aurelion Sol next turn. It'll be a tough nut to crack if that happens. Is there ranked and or tournaments at all? There are. Their seasons are broken down into two month seasons on the ladder. At the end of every season, there is a $20,000 cash tournament for top ladder performers, as well as people who finish highly in their gauntlet system. And those tournaments are one tournament for every server region. So there's 4 $20,000 tournaments every 2 months currently. Gem for 3 damage. Yeah, maybe that's better. I kind of wanted to save the gem for post Viktor, but that's probably wrong.
Without showing the glorious evolution, the flashbacks will bow, Rainmaker.
I don't free-to-play card games, so I spent a little bit of money and had my first competitive deck right when I started playing No Oak. So you can buy a deck outright in this game for like 20 bucks, 20, 30 bucks. Which is what I prefer to do. Am I chumping with Viktor or am I chumping with Ballistic Bot? You know, I should have played Chump Wump here to chump with him. That's what I should have done. I think we're actually chumping with Viktor. Yeah, my sequencing here was wrong.
Progress.
Fire if nothing moves.
Hey, Mom, still like a yodel in uniform.
If you were to throw money to get a Diana deck off the bat, which one would you recommend? Probably Diana Zoe. I think the Diana Zoe, and then I would ask if you prefer playing mid-range or aggro. There's a Diana Zoe aggro deck, and there's a Diana Zoe mid-range deck. I couldn't find a way to buy decks. I do that. You purchase the coins in the client Noah Oak, and then you can craft any card for coins directly. If you're new to LOR, I'd recommend taking 10 minutes and watching my how-to LOR video. It explains the best way to build your collection free-to-play, as well as how to buy cards for money if you want to do that, and the best places to find decks that are competitive to build. So we're definitely just trying to push lethal here this turn, right? The question is, what can we afford to play around? I think the answer is not a lot, unfortunately. I'm going to start with an Ignition here and see what they do. Kind of get the soft pass on this. This technically makes these two lethal together, but I believe with the gem and the mushrooms, we can actually get both of these to 9 power, which would be ideal here. Yeah, no problem, no Oak. And after you take a peek at that video, feel free to ask any extra questions you have in chat. Crazy fast. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Okay, star shaping is scary because it means that if they single combat, I probably can't kill them this turn. Hopefully they just get like a 7-drop and plop it down. Would love for them to tap out here. Unfortunately, it's pretty unlikely. Their deck has a ton of interaction. Oh, I guess Heimer technically doubles up all of my things, right? Yeah, I think we actually Heimer, because Heimer doubles all my created cards. This is technically more, right? Yeah, I have a Discord server for my Twitch subs. I see you have a Prime icon next to your name. If you don't Prime sub to another channel, you can always use that to get a free sub here. But okay, do you have single combat?
Gigahexes.
1.21 gigahexes.
I've licked my pay dirt. Their treat will be doomed. I need assistance. Just 1.21 gigahexes.
Well, I mean, so they can have a hush or a single combat here and not be dead to these. The question is, I think I'm also supposed to attack with this, because if they hush this and they block here, this means they also have to throw away one of these other things. I don't think we're supposed to attack with everything, right? If I attack with everything and they hush this, they go block, 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 and they go down to 1, right? Hey, thanks for the Prime sub, Soul. I appreciate it. I'm pretty sure I attack with this because I want to force a trade. They go to 0? That's not true, right? Block, 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 block. Because they can't block 2. Yeah, they take this and this. No, you're very wrong. Wow! Look at, oh, I got the real one. Thank you, Soul.
Truly remarkable.
Truly remarkable. You may be. I think you miscounted there. The opponent just like sitting there waiting to see if we outthink ourselves at the end. had me sweating on what variety of answers they could have had there. Huh. I was actually really happy with what this deck was doing. The ballistic bot, sump dredger, rummage kind of card selection package to draw through and see a lot of our deck felt really good. With the various all-in Fiora decks and Endure decks running around, getting to play 3 Hush and a control deck feels good. I think that's a big part of why that previous opponent's deck is very reasonable right now too. And Heimer plus Viktor, like we kind of saw in that last game, Heimer really puts our augment cards into overdrive. Oh, that was you, Brad. I really need to pay attention to usernames better. Yeah, good luck. I was sweating at the end. You just had so many different things that could have stopped that lethal. And give it, honestly, one thought I might have, but I'm not really sure what I would cut. It could be possible to get triple give it all into this build. It's also a little bit clunky though, so it could just be right to have 2 and like play with your card selection. But if you're looking for a go big Viktor deck that's felt like a good build for doing that, we played Viktor Zoe before, and I like that for an aggressive Viktor deck. But as far as like a more mid-range controlling Viktor deck, this build felt very reasonable in terms of the interaction it got to play. Aftershock specifically is a card that I really love in the format right now. Like, being able to take Plaza away from the Plaza decks is super strong. All right. At any rate, let's go ahead and shift gears. We're not done with Runeterra